So what up, 2K fans? This is my breakdown of the NBA 2K14 trailer. And I wanted to do this video when the initial trailer released. I hadn't had the time, but there were so many things that I noticed in this trailer, and I wanted to share those with you guys, see if maybe some of you guys realized some of the same things that I saw. So I'm going to kind of slow this video down, pause it at a few spots, and kind of discuss a few things with you guys and determine if maybe we're seeing the same thing, or maybe this is all up to speculation. Maybe some of these things were just done just for the sake of doing a trailer, maybe by the 2K creators. But in my opinion, some of these things suggest a lot of aspects of the game that could really prove to be extremely significant in the realistic aspects of the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features in 2K14.
When they told me they had a surprise set up, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I know, right? It's Video Game James.
Now here's my first stop. We're going to notice that LeBron James on the right, the digital video game version, he's going to make a staggering amount of facial suggestions, facial expressions, and I'm kind of floored at this. I'm still wondering if this is just a portion of the game that, you know, they did just for the sake of doing the trailer, or is this a realistic aspect of the game? When I first saw this, the first thing that came to mind was the halftime interviews with Craig Sager and those colorful suits, and maybe even some of those Cheryl Miller interviews right before the players head off into the locker room after a win. You know, some of the interviews you see with Doris Burke. So I'm kind of wondering now, like, do they have that in the game now? Do they have the interviews that take place at halftime or right at the end of a game? You know, those realistic interviews. And maybe does the Kinect come into play? Does the PlayStation 4i voice command come into play when maybe in My Career mode, are you able to answer some of the tough questions that they might ask you and see your man actually speak? That's a good question.
And
so now let's see how many facial expressions we can actually catch here. Right here, LeBron James, his digital video game James, he looks angry, and this is the face of anger, and you can see how fast it changed to anger.
the flesh. Kinda. I can see the guys at 2K, they ain't messing around on these next-gen graphics. Man, you look sick. Not bad, huh? Soak it in, Playboy. They nailed every single detail. I'm you, but digital. Now you may be an exact replica. Can you ball like me? Can I ball?
Now, how many of you guys remember in my wish list video when I said that they should add more expressions, more feeling? And I said smiling. Smiling would be a big deal. Smiles. Because it adds more realism to the game. You can smile sarcastically. You can smile happily when you hit a big shot. How many of you guys remember that?
That's funny.
Now, right here was pretty big for me. As you can see in the background, it looks like we have Ray Allen taking some practice jump shots. You know, it looks like he's, you know, almost practicing for the three-point contest. Definitely taking some jumpers. And it makes me wonder now, like, if the shoot-around, when you get the chance to check your shot out, you know, I usually go in the shoot-around when I'm changing my jump shots, test it out. Then I go into a pickup game or scrimmage, and I test out my jumper, see how it works in real time. But I'm wondering if this is an opportunity for you to practice now. Like, can you actually practice taking jump shots and actually landing your release? You know, learning your shot release, your jump shot. And I'm also wondering if they actually put the shot feedback maybe to the left or to the right while you're taking these shots. When I see that in the background, it lets me know that I have a better opportunity at practicing my jump shot, getting my release down. And, you know, I'm wondering if they implemented that into the game.
Somebody wrote a clip.
So right here was the first opportunity for us to see some actual gameplay. It says that it's not pre-rendered footage. This is actual PlayStation 4 pre-alpha NBA 2K14 footage. And if you remember in my wishlist video, I talked about how bad the replay cameras were. And, you know, I really wish that they had the 2K Realmaker cameras that really express different angles and showcase more of the atmosphere in an NBA arena. And as you can see right here, we can see behind the basketball hoop, behind the backboard. We can also see some of the lighting shining down from above LeBron James. We can see some of the advertisements. With these camera angles, you could really capture the atmosphere of being in an NBA game. You know, seeing the arena, seeing the advertisements. I can see Sprite in the background. And this is a very, very big deal to me, especially someone that likes to edit and do, you know, videos that showcase different angles and really try to, you know, give you guys that real feel of the play that just took place. Now this one's pretty easy. As you can see, we see LeBron James' facial expression change as he's going for this dunk, but really pay close attention to the attention to detail. And that's what 2K's, you know, really been good at over the years, is the attention to detail. Look at the folds in his forehead as he goes for this dunk. So here we go again, another amazing camera angle. If you pay close attention, you can see a lot of the advertisements, Spalding and Sprite in the deep background back there, and pay closer attention to the lighting and how it affects LeBron James. They did a phenomenal job in this video. I'm not sure how that's going to play out when the game actually comes out, but notice the lighting. Also notice the Staples Center at the top of the arena and the actual big screens up top too. So I'm imagining that we're going to actually have the real NBA entrances. You know, I'm a big fan of Boston's entrance. You know, obviously that's going to change due to all the new trading, due to all the new trades, but nonetheless, I can imagine actually seeing those big screens, you know, actually showcase the players as they come in and see some of the instant replays on the big screens up top. Now here we go again with another camera angle that I've been begging for, that corner three under the basket angle. And this is a great angle, and also this is one of the first times you get the chance to see other players come into play as the video goes on. You see Mario Chalmers looking up at LeBron James. You also see Kobe Bryant in the background running in. More on Kobe in a second. Now right here, this was actually a big deal in 2K13. A lot of people complained about the tattoos being too dark, almost looking like they were fresh out of the tattoo shop. And now, as you can see, if you look closely, his tattoo looks more blended in. It looks like it's been on his arm for a little while. Also, if you look at the jersey, the printing, the actual print of the Miami number 6, it actually looks more like it's thicker than normal. It sticks out a little more. It doesn't look like it's just, you know, hand drawn onto the jersey. So this suggests to me that everything is more three-dimensional, and the lighting, again, the shading that they use, the more smoother textures that they have moving forward, the game looks way more realistic than ever before. His muscles aren't exaggerated. There aren't some ridiculous shading areas that make him look over exaggerated. So this is an awesome look right here moving forward. Couple things I noticed right here are the sidelines. I'm wondering if it looks like they're a little bit more interactive. They look larger. It looks a lot better. Even in this blurry state, I see some people standing up. I see somebody with their arms out. I'm kind of wondering if they're more interactive than ever before. If maybe you can fall into the stands and see somebody move out the way, or, you know, 2K has a history of being very detailed with the people in the stands. We saw that in All Pro Football 2K8, and I'm hoping we see it in 2K14. So right here, Kobe Bryant comes into play. And if you look closely, his eyes look like they're wide open. You can see the light shining off his bald head. You see his tattoos. Again, the smoother textures that they use with the lighting and the shading. It looks way more realistic than ever before. And also, I see some crowd members with some jerseys on, which is pretty common. So how many of you guys remember the 2K13 interviews with like Mike Wang and some of the other developers, and they were putting a larger emphasis on the finger physics, like the physics on the hands and how they grip the rims and things like that. Attention to detail goes a long way. You know, some of you guys saw at E3 the new game The Division, and it showed the guy actually close the door as he walked across the police car as it was getting riddled with bullets, and everybody went crazy just from that little bit of that little attention to detail. 2K has a long history of attention to detail, and it seems like it's only getting better with NBA 2K14. Now, another couple things I noticed in this celebration clip right here, LeBron James. You know, one thing I mentioned in my wish list was that I would love to control my emotion. And I mentioned how, you know, it would be great if there was a button that you could push after a foul or after a bad call, after a good shot. I'm wondering if I can control this animation, if I can make LeBron do this. You know, we all saw him do this in the playoffs, and, you know, as he walked away cheering after a big shot. Can we control that? And to me, from this trailer, it seems like they put a heavy emphasis on the celebrations. Also, notice the weight of his jersey. It kind of flows like water. It seems like it has some actual weight to it. It doesn't just ripple with a certain animation. It just follows the legs. It follows the arms. The jersey actually seems like it has weight to it. That's another attention to detail aspect that 2K's putting into 2K14. Looks great. Right here we see Mr. Amazing himself, Meta World Peace. Again, another great camera angle. We get a chance to see the arena behind these guys. It's almost like the camera's coming from behind them at a low angle going up. And this is a great thing, really capturing the atmosphere in the arena. Right here we get another good look at Kobe Bryant. Looks like LeBron James isn't the only star of this video. You can see LeBron James's hairline, if you look closely, that his hairline is actually pushed back. That's more realistic to how he looks in real life. You can also see Ray Allen. And I can also, at the bottom left over here, we can see Dwight Howard, noticing the steal in the background too. Again, the detail on LeBron James' headband and hairline, and also you see Kobe Bryant's eyes are kind of wide open at this point. He sees the steal, his mouth is open. It shows that there's some excitement. There's a lot of changing of expression that actually takes place on the basketball court, and this game is actually going to show that. It's going to show a lot more realistic features with facial expressions this year in 2K14. And right here was a major problem of mine. I hated how when you pick the ball up in transition off of a loose ball, at times you get a little bit of a delay. So I really hope that they fix that for 2K14. Also notice how LeBron James bends down to pick this ball up with one arm. You know, he snatches it up off the ground. This is a really great thing because it keeps your body moving. You don't have to bend down and pick it up with two hands. Just to, you know, you don't lose any momentum. So this is something I'm really hoping you know, translates really well in 2K14 moving forward. Now, one thing I caught right here was his body movement and the ferociousness of this dunk, the way he slammed it in real hard. One thing I would love to see in 2K emphasize a little bit more is the grabbing and the pulling of the rim and actually pulling it down some. You know, Shaquille O'Neal used to do that a lot, and a lot of times players, when they jump and they dunk on people, they hold on to the rim and it kind of pulls the rim down for a little while. And you know, I want to see that rim action. I want to see the rim snap back. I want to see that more often in 2K. It happens, but it doesn't happen enough, and I'm hoping that in 2K14 that they kind of emphasize that a lot more. As we saw right here, the dunk and his body weight, the physics, it looked very realistic. It looked like he really slammed it in real hard. So I really am looking forward to that next year. Now, if there was one thing that scared me when I first saw this video, it was that mouth. And they already are fully aware of this. I'm sure that they are working on fixing this. This is pre-alpha stage anyway. But I think that showing that this mouth can actually open and he can scream, I'm wondering if he actually belts out a yell. Like, if he actually screams, if we could actually hear him on the court screaming. You know, 2K, they tend to have a little bit of that. I don't know if you guys play a lot of scrimmage games, but if you play scrimmage and turn the music off, you can actually hear a lot of the player chatter. And I'm kind of wondering, you know, if they allow that, you know, the voice to be heard over the crowd, the screams, the yells, the grunts of the NBA players on the basketball court. That would be awesome, because it would be almost a waste to see his mouth open and extend like to this extent with no sound coming out of it. So I would love to actually hear him. And you know, I'm sure that they have some more in store with the mouth, because it seems like there's a lot of expression being, you know, done in 2K14. So in closing, a couple things that I asked for in my wish list were controlling your own emotions, better sound, and I also asked for better camera angles. And judging from what I've seen in this trailer, some of those bases may have been hit. We obviously see better camera angles. It looks like you may be able to, maybe control some of those animations for celebrations. I'm not sure, but they showed it and it looks awesome. I'm wondering if maybe these are things that we can choose when we're creating our characters. If we can choose in my career mode or Path to Greatness, maybe we can choose some of those animations for celebrations on the basketball court. So the game looks phenomenal in this little bit of a footage that we have here. I know I went pretty long in this footage. I talked about a lot of different things, but I've been wanting to give you guys a full breakdown. And last year, 2K13, I broke down the gameplay they actually showed. This year, they just showed a trailer, which is actual gameplay. Couldn't give you guys my full analysis, but from what I see, the game looks phenomenal. I can't wait. I'm excited for 2K14. Did you like 2K14?
Yeah.
You do? Yes?
Yes.
You like it a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that gameplay footage? Does it look real?
Yeah, it looks real.
Oh, it looks real, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait for this game?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna play it with me?
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna play with?
I'm gonna play basketball.
Alright, I love you. I'll holla at you dudes later!